morning. I wanted to talk to you about herd dynamics and how to utilize your knowledge of your herds to best suit your herd, yourself, and anybody you would ever ask to handle the horses within that herd, whether it's an owner or it's staff or it's yourself. One of the things that's really important to me is respecting my herd dynamic. So if I know who the lead horse is, I have respect for the lead horse, but I also demand respect from the lead horse, which then is recognized by the horses lower than him. So my horses always know that I will protect them as soon as I attach to them. I promise them that we are a herd of two, and I am above the guy you have to respect when I'm not here. That's a promise that I always make to the horses, and you can see it in their recognition of that when I go and get, say, the lowest man on the totem pole to bring him out of the herd and take him to the gate and ask him to go out of the gate, even if the other horses thought that they were going to come to the gate, and make that challenging for him. If I'm attached, I have convinced all of my horses that as long as I am attached, I've got your back. Don't worry, they will not challenge you because you are with me. That's so important to know where your horse stands within your herd, because you have to make that promise to your horse, and the only way you can make that promise to your horse is if you have shown your horse that you will not allow anybody that's above him to push you around. Another way that I utilize that to keep harmony and to keep peace in my barn and to keep safety as a main concern in my barn is my turnout and my bring in order from turnout. And I'm going to explain why. So knowing your horse's herd dynamic is so important. Okay, so like I had a herd of Ritz, Katie, Tyson, Cowboy, Hunter, and Matthias, and Bentley, actually. And I knew where every horse stood within that herd. I knew how to utilize my knowledge of their herd to make sure that everybody who gets put out has the best beginning of their day. So when I put horses out, I put them out from low man to top man. So Bentley would have gone out first. The reason he goes out first is that if he's not really into running away and, getting kicked and bit, he's out first so that he can meander away from the gate or the door, whichever kind of opening you have them go through. And he can just kind of take his time, stretching his legs, looking around, hearing a dog bark in the neighborhood and checking it out for a moment without having to worry about who's going to attack him on his way through the door. Next would have been Matthias. Matthias will go out next because Matthias is over Bentley but under the rest of the horses. So Matthias going out next means that he's going to push Bentley away, but Bentley only has to go away. He doesn't have to try to get past anybody who's saying, excuse me, but this is my gate. So now Bentley's been able to leave peacefully on his own terms without pressure. Now Matthias will stand at the gate and wait for the next guy. He stands at the gate because now he owns the gate. He owns the door. When I bring out Hunter, now Matthias has to respectfully move away from the door because now Hunter will take over ownership of the door. And that gives Matthias a chance to leave peacefully, leave on his own terms, not be chased, not be attacked, not be kicked. Next would have been Katie or Tyson. They kind of fight for that position on a regular basis. Like my current situation right now is Tyson's been kind of pushing Katie around a little bit. So I would say if I was studying them right now, I would say that Tyson is above Katie, but not always. So let's just say we'll put Katie out. We'll put Katie out first. Now, Katie does have a bad habit of chasing the ponies when she feels picked on. So if she feels picked on by Tyson, so let's just say I put Katie out, she was fine, she got the two to, all three of them have moved on and gone about their business. Now let's just say she felt pretty compelled to stay at the gate at the time that Tyson comes out. And now Tyson, who's, like I said, they kind of challenge that position on a regular basis, like an obvious confrontational thing. Like, it's always up for debate who's that position. So she may choose to stay at the gate and see if Tyson's up for the job today, and maybe I made the mistake of putting them out in the wrong order. So let's just say hypothetically she hung out at the gate and I put Tyson out and she didn't really budge too much to get out of his way or to offer him the same respect the other horses had offered each other. There may be a mild confrontation at the gate because she's checking to see where he stands. If that happens, and let's just say Tyson wins, now Katie has all her lower men she can go pick on for a minute, and Katie's kind of known to that. Like, she'll get picked on by, say, Ritz, and you can watch her, like, the light bulb goes on, like she pops her head up and she looks for a pony, and off she goes. Even if it's not like, charging them or anything like that, just off she goes with the intention of making them move off of the patch of grass that they've been enjoying for the last hour. She doesn't care. At this moment, that's her grass. After Tyson goes out, now I have two horses that stood boss man, but for different reasons. Cowboy, he's boss when it comes to food. Not about coming in, not about anything else, but he's boss man when it comes to food. So if he said that patch of grass is mine, he would move Ritz off of that patch of grass, and Ritz wouldn't put up any kind of argument about it. However, as far as the leader of the entire herd, Ritz is actually the leader of the entire herd when it comes to, I heard something we should go investigate, or I heard something we should really move away from. Ritz would be the general in that position, where he would be like, all right guys, let's go, or all right guys, let's look over there, where Cowboy wouldn't be quite as in tune to his environment and offering as much leadership that way. So Cowboy would almost be considered a bully of the group, not so much a leader, and yet Ritz would respect Cowboy if Cowboy decided to bully him off of something that Ritz wanted. So Ritz wouldn't stand fight with Cowboy. So that's kind of how I send them out. I send them out so that they can, each horse that's lower than the next can move away peacefully on their own terms, on their own energy, not forced in any way, not fearfully, not stressfully, just are able to just move away. I bring them in the opposite, because when it's time to bring them in, you have horses that kind of stand ownership of the gate when they recognize it's time to come in. So Ritz would be standing at the gate first. I would then get Ritz first. Then Cowboy would remind everybody behind him that he's next, and he stands ownership of the gate. Then it would be Tyson who would stand, and kind of Tyson and Katie would stand together, but Tyson would come in before Katie, and then Katie, and then Matthias, and then Hunter, and then Matthias, and then Bentley. And it's done in that order so that each man can just move up, take ownership of the gate as it makes sense to the dynamic of the herd. There's so many really, really good reasons to do that. One, for your safety. You're coming out, they know their order. They have stepped in line and waited. I literally seen my horses line up, knowing where their position was as far as who I'm coming back out for. If you need to get another horse, again, that's out of kind of these activities where you can prove to every horse that you're the boss. You're the one that comes out, you're the boss. So that way, like I say, I had to get Bentley out of the herd. Once I'm clicked onto Bentley, I have convinced every one of them, as far as where I fit in the herd dynamic, that I've convinced every one of them that if I have a hold of one of them, they're safe with me. As far as just maintaining their herd dynamic for them, for the peace of the herd, I always show them the respect of knowing who's where. And in the way I do turnout and the way I do bring in from turnout is always an offering of that respect for them. And good idea to practice that. I don't grab horses to go outside based on which stall's closest to the door. I definitely know which horse fits where they fit and how I can